And now I'm going to turn on the motor factory. Come to think of it, I ought to call it, yeah, car motors. What do they call the other switch? I forget. Anyway, so in a previous video I covered how to make a rotor factory. But since then, I've discovered, based on my dabbling in strange alien matter, that I can make iron and I can make wire and steel pipes out of just iron. So I have a couple of nodes here. Both of them are impure, unfortunately, but I've been able to sort of finagle my way into making a stator factory. Now, stators are made out of steel beams and wire. Well, what is going on here? Here we go again. I forgot to program this one. This one too. Anyway, yeah, so they are, so I can make wire and steel pipes out of just iron. And because of this, I can make stators out of just iron. And because of this, I can make motors, entire motors, out of plain old-fashioned iron. That's the beauty, I suppose, of alternative recipes. The ugly side of it is that I had to do some back-of-the-envelope calculations that were unlike any back-of-the-envelope calculations I've had to do before. Consider, for example, these recipes here for iron wire. Now, I had to scale it down a bit to make 9 wire out of 5 ingots. Well, that's the ratio. 5 ingots, 9 wire. Don't you think it's a little bit weird to go to ninths? I mean, yeah, you can get that with just splitters alone, but what about the amount of iron you have to use? 17 per minute, I mean. 17.7 and 7/9 iron ingots a minute. Now, into these two, now both of these together are 35 and 35 and I think it's 4/9. Let me see this here. 35 and 4/9. 30. It's 17 plus 10 and 7/9. So 17 plus 7/9 is 34 and 14/9, which is 35 and 5/9. Yeah. See, this is what's wrong with doing it this way. You have to factor in all these weird little fractions here. And now I've put 60, that's the output of 2 smelters, in here, so there's going to be some left over. I'm using a very unconventional method, at least by my standards, which is the manifold method, which is to let everything just sort of fill up naturally as long as it can take it. At least I think that's how it works. So I've got what's left over here. Now 35 and 5/9 subtract that from 60, you get 24 and 4/9. And I have to add that to the output of these 3 smelters, one of which is functioning at under capacity. And I have to figure out how much under capacity, and hopefully I'm right about this. It's 11 and 5/9, but I can't enter in 11 and 5/9. It doesn't really come out to an even number as far as the clock speed is concerned. This isn't 11 and 5/9 at all. It's 11.55, which is 55 100ths, or 11 20ths. And while that's a close fraction, it's not the exact fraction. So I've got all this feeding into this iron pipe thing, using a Mark II conveyor belt, at 96 a minute, putting out steel here, steel pipes. Now those should be putting out stators. Yeah, here we go. And the stators and the rotors from the rotor factory are being fed into this thing, a motor assembler. Bottom line out of all this is I'm going to be making motors at for a minute, which doesn't seem very much, but over a period of hours, it all adds up. And I am going to need like a ton of motors. 1,000 of them. Yeah, a 4-digit amount of motors, mind you, for those modular engines we use in Phase 2. I've already got a sort of a motor factory over here. It isn't making any, well, I have motors in it, but it isn't making any because, well, there's another thing I realized. Here, I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. Since I'm not really using this, I'm going to make a bit of a change and reprogram this for automated wiring. Yeah, so I'll get a bit of a jump on the last part of Phase 3, which is oh, I forget what these things are called. They're like autonomous control units and something, and they require automated wiring. And automated wiring, as I learned back during the last phase, takes a flipping ton of cables. Well, fortunately, I have a good amount of cables here. So we'll get started on those while I'm thinking of those. But they're made out of stators. I thought they were made out of rotors. There, alright. Picked it clean. I suppose I'll leave the rest of those be. I did a bit of a count up as far as what I have for Phase 3, and I've discovered that I have like 100 and something computers, like 150 something. That's a lot of computers. I figured that maybe I'll give the computer factory a rest. But speaking of computers and factories and such, I'm going to need circuits. Like hundreds of them. Which brings me to an interesting little technicality I can either use or abuse depending on your point of view. Let me just get these loaded here. There we go. I'm surprised they just deleted all those stators. I don't know why it did that. Meanwhile, I still have Steel Hill kind of resting. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay, well, now that I've done all those annoying little chores, yeah, I did a lot of other things too. I started making the smart plates for the modular engines. I'm going to need 1,000 of those. But also, I need exactly 500 modular engines. So I'm going to build exactly 1,000 smart plates. And anything else I can just sort of load in there, like the rubber, for example, 7,500 rubber. Yeah, that's a lot to think about. I can't exactly... I'd rather not just count out that much rubber. That's what I was using this for. That much rubber. So what I'm thinking of doing here is just dumping it in, as much of it in there as I can lug, and then whatever's left will be left over because it'll stop making. Yeah, I should have taken a shorter route this way. It'll stop making modular engines at exactly 500 because it'll stop making smart plates at exactly 1,000. The other thing it needs, well, is motors, and I'm going to let that build up a bit. So, while I was doing all that and having my little misadventure at Freighter Lake, or not Freighter Lake, sorry, it was a place very like Freighter Lake, at the Red Forest and trying to find that one crashed freighter that I couldn't really locate, this Strange Alien Matter Fluctuator Factory has been putting out strange alien matter fluctuators at a relatively respectable rate. Tell how makeshift all this is. So, I'm going to find out exactly how many I have. I should have at least 100. Maybe a couple of hundred. Blow me down, I'm rich. Yoink! I am practically salivating over this because I am going to research not just any old mundane stuff like motors and stators and automated, oh come on, automated wiring and all that jazz, but alien technology, technology that is truly, truly alien. Now just to recap, strange alien matter is indeed very strange. It comes from a node that, if you listen very closely to it, if it doesn't have a miner on it, you can actually hear voices, like a group of them, like many of them talking in unison. What they're saying, I have no idea. I'm itching to find that out. Alien technology, blah, blah, blah. Here we go, alright. Then there's those mysterious alien artifacts. Mercer spheres and... oh, I need computers. Let me see. Hang on a second. There's a couple of things I want to open up here. Let me see. Like this. I need circuits. I have circuits. Speaking of alien technology, that stuff that I pulled out of that one, out of that one freighter wreck, really does seem like... oh, this way. It really does seem like alien technology, in that I can't manufacture it. At least I can't manufacture it yet. There's like aluminum stuff in there, and I don't know how to refine bauxite just yet. And then there's... okay, look at this, 158 computers. Yeah, I should stop distracting myself. Yeah, I've got fused modular frames. Is that like a heavy modular frame, only heavier than a modular frame? Does it use heavy modular frames to make fused modular frames? Oh boy, this is giving me the shivers. Oh, yeah, you know what else? I gotta grab all the weird alien stuff I gotta use to make this stuff. Like Mercer spheres and Summers loops. And what am I gonna do with all this sulfur I've got hanging around in that chest? I don't know. Gotta take a chill pill. So let's start talking about production amplifiers. What is a production amplifier? I don't know. Production amplifier unlocked. Every single manufacturing and smelting building will be backwards compatible with this new technology. Fascinating. What is it? These buildings can now have a Summers loop embedded to increase resource output without requiring more input at the cost of greatly increased power consumption. Flow cycles within flow cycles make explosions into temples into explosions into temples. The sphere of woven windows. Each tiny body contains tinier bodies until the line layers fold into curves which fold into threads which weave the tapestry. A song of light and leaf and flower, a dance of matter clouds, and I think they're trying to explain energy to matter conversion theory, but you do not need to understand it to do your job. I'll just mute them for you so you can continue your mission. I, however, will be taking notes. This is fascinating material. Point of some kind. Yes, I do need to understand things like this to do my job. People do their job better if they understand what they're working with. But I guess that never occurs to some people, does it? Anyways, power augmenter. I wonder what that is. Power augmenter unlocked. Summers loops naturally harvest. Yes, harvest energy from distant sources and distribute it locally. The power augmenter supercharges Summers loops by feeding it local power, increasing its harvesting range and efficiency and thus power output. Basically, the more power it's given, the more it provides. Do not loop the loop organ, it will shred and tear and unravel the threads. Many temples burned. Good to know, that confirms the hypothesis. I'm guessing I shouldn't overclock things too much. Like use a Summers loop. This is a fascinating idea, isn't it? Output multiplier. Alright. Well, I'm going to take these things here and put a... Just double check this here. Okay, put one of these old S things in here. Is there a way to split this into... Yeah, okay. I'm going to feed these in one by one. 1 multiplies by 2. And it still hasn't got... 120 biomass a minute. And it takes 120 biomass... biofuel out a minute? Wait a minute. Let me just take this out for a second. Control test. Okay. I see. I think I'm beginning to understand. So, let's say that I'm feeding biomass in here at 120 a minute. Right now, it takes, it'll output 60 a minute. Putting this in doubles that to 120 a minute. Putting another one of these in, I can't. Okay, gotcha. I can only double the output. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Might just use this as a demonstration model. What about the rest of all this? I'm itching, and this thing is scratching my itch. 100? And I don't even know what that other thing... Okay, fine. May have something. Wait. I officially don't know what that thing is. Okay, so... An alien power augmenter, is it equipment? Is it a building? Is it a component? I don't know. Let me see here. Blah. Okay, fine. Maybe it's this. Wait a second. Yeah, it is a building. It requires 10 Summers loops, which I don't have. Generates power based on the total amount of power in the attached power grid. This experimental technology is somehow able to extract power from the Summers loop by blasting it with energy. In other words, money for nothing. Good song, a trifle homophobic at times, though. Alright, fine. I don't have to research some of this stuff. Okay, manual depot uploader. Enables uploading from the inventory. To what? Well, I was going to explore that, actually. But I never got the chance. Analysis of manual depot uploader completed, etc. Okay. Manual depot uploader unlocked. Storage dimension and pocket dimension now connected both ways and stable. Parts can now be uploaded to the storage dimension directly from the inventory. Note the storage dimension now understands the boundaries of the pocket dimension and recognizes the distinction between matter belonging to the Pioneer's inventory and matter belonging to the Pioneer. The window within the window within the shallows within the deep curling around itself separately echoes strangely. I'm sure strange is the correct term for what this must feel like to you. Let me see, how would I do that, though? I mean, do I just, I can't right-click, that just splits it. I didn't want to do that. There doesn't seem to be anything to, put something into the pocket dimension or whatever that thing is to my inventory that's in my inventory right now. If you understand that. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, dimensional depot upload speed and depot expansion. This is, I see. These are all about the dimensional depot. So you know what I'm going to do here? I might as well put one of those things in. Now this is an organization. A dimensional... Oh, fart. Well, it's nothing too serious. I can just take a hike back and grab some more modular frames. But basically, what a dimensional depot is, as I understand it, is a dimensional debit card. Okay, so what do I mean by a dimensional debit card? Well, for those of you who are unfamiliar with debit cards versus credit cards, a credit card is money that you will pay off by a deadline, a later deadline. A debit card connects directly to your savings account. It is money that you will pay off right now, without actually having it on hand, like in your. So instead of using cash, you can pay something directly with the funds in your bank account. Now, I myself don't do this. I'll withdraw money, but I won't use a debit card the way you'd use a credit card, because you can easily lose track of what's in your account if you use your debit card too much. Whereas your credit card company will give you a bill at the end of each, well, periodically anyway, explaining how much you owe them. Hopefully you will have that much on hand and be able to pay it down all the way. Well, this dimensional depot is like a dimensional bank account, a dimensional debit card. Right, where would I put... If I had a dimensional debit card, where would I put it? How about near something that is equally important? And before you ask, yes, I did take down the assemblers that were feeding into this, because future components for future phases are going to require the manufacturer, as far as I can tell, not the assemblers. Okay, enough chit-chat. Dimensional depot. I'm going to put it right here. I'm not going to feed anything directly into it. I'm instead going to see if it has an interface. Drop items here to upload to the dimensional. Okay, finally, yeah, that's much better than what was going on before. So let's see, what do I want to put in here? How about some biofuel? Oh, and there's a maximum amount that you can have. And it's one stack, exactly one stack. Of something.